Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we will show you the final of our local store match. Here we have me playing Tenpai versus a friend of mine playing Floowandereeze. He is actually a very good Floowandereeze player. He's been piloting the deck since it came out. So I was expecting a very hard matchup. I won the dice, but as you can see, I didn't know if I wanted to send him first or second, but I decided because I main deck a lot of hand traps and lightning storm, my best choice is to go second. He starts by activating map, revealing Robina, and banishing the Eglin, and of course he can chain block these effects. As you can see, my hand our only disruption is a droplet. Not very good hand going second. So all of his effects will resolve as he wants to. And he adds Empen. So he basically has a full combo, and as you can see in his hand he has two trap cards. The Dreaming Town and a Rivalry, I believe. So with Empen he gets to add the continue spell. And he can also use the continue spell, as you can see, to put back two birds to draw two new cards, which is a pretty good setup against Tenpai, especially when you don't draw any hand drops. I have Prosperity in hand, so I was trying to search for a Lightning Storm because it would make our odds a lot better. So I start with that. I decide, as you can see, to banish 6 cards because I needed so much the Lightning Storm, but unfortunately only hand traps and 2 prosperities, so I decided to take the Cayman. After that I will activate the new field spell, where's the way there's a will, I guess. And because he has 6 cards on the field, it's basically a second prosperity. And because I have the second field spell, I can set it if I get a Lightning Storm. So I have no face-off cards and I can storm him, but unfortunately, as you see, there's no Lightning Storm. And I decided to take the Imperm because I thought if he doesn't kill me this turn, I can stall the game until my Tenpais go to the grand game, which basically means I'm praying at the moment. Here it's Cayman. Now I will activate the other field spell, which adds Tenpai to my hand. Now this is a pretty tough spot because he has field spell up, so if I normal summon he can do an extra normal summon on my turn, which will put me in a very difficult position. I decided to normal summon Fadra because I have a field spell up, so I thought if I can at least do some searching to go to the grand game. But of course he normal summons Robina, he chains Eglin and adds his birds. With Robina he searches Diddy Crow, I believe. and then he gets to normal summon the Egglen, which I will decide to droplet because the most dangerous thing he has is the continuous spell with an Egglen effect that I don't want to get Ryza or Avian. So I discard the Kaiman because I wanted to play around the quick play spell which Floowandereeze has. But he does chain it for some reason. Or maybe he activates it on res. He bans his Empen to add the token. And there he can just activate the Dreaming Town, which is basically GG at this point. Because not only he gets to take Empen and tribute summon with his continuous spell, but he can also book all my masters face down. And if I activate Sangen on the battle phase, I cannot summon it in attack because it will not activate the effect thanks to Empen. So yeah, game 1 is lost at this point. So I decide to set 2 and end my turn. And at this moment I am literally praying to not have something. But she activates the field spell, revealing token and banishing an Empen, so it basically means he can just tribute summon using my cards, and he gets to do that twice, and he has the quick play spell to dodge Imperm. So that is the end of game 1. Obviously I decided to scoop right there and then to save at least a bit of time. He did have Rivalry, which is useless against Tenpai, and Lightning Storm was nowhere to be found. So I decided to change my tactics and go first in the next game because, as I saw earlier, the matchup against Tenpai is very tough if I go second. So I side I'm going first, and of course I side out all my Nibiru's and stuff. And because in our local we have a lot of good Floowandereeze players, I do play a zombie world. So my plan is to side in a zombie world and search with Ancient Fairy Dragon, and then use Spheres, and basically it puts him at better have Duster or Cosmic at this point, because zombie world completely counters birds, as he cannot tribute summon for any monster except zombie. And I don't think he plays a lot of zombies in this deck. The thing is, when you play Tenpai, you are literally praying to not break if you go first, because you do play a lot of hand traps and your engine is kinda small. So you need a very specific hand to do an optimal going first board and have some backup for next turn. But we will see how this game goes. Thankfully, as you see, I do draw a lot of Tenpais and the zombie wall, so I don't need to go to the Ancient Fairy line in order to search our win condition against this deck. And I do decide to normal summon Padra as the first play, which will search as, I think, the field spell? Yes. And I activate the field spell to search, I guess, Chudra. Yes. And I think I will discard I discard Kaiman to special summon Chandra. And apparently I do go for the Ancient Fairy Dragon because I have Fadra in hand, and I think it is good if I summon Fadra, because I can then special summon another monster, and I kinda needed to go for the Crystal Wing line, because if he did have an out for Zombie World, I needed to have an extra backup, as well as a droplet in my hand. And the Synchro Tenpai level 7 is very good, because it is a tuner, so it helps you go into Jolkin. As you see, I do right there. And I set a field spell, which will trigger Jolkin to summon our Crystal Wing, which is very good against birds, because not only it doesn't target, but it negates and destroys the opponent's monster. I will use then our 2 dragons to make a spheres before I activate Zombie World, because if I activated Zombie World there would be zombies and I could not make the spheres. And as you can see in his hand, he doesn't have any out for Zombie World, and he does draw a Prosperity for turn. So he now prays, he outs a back row removal, and he will start with Prosperity, as you see. But obviously the Prosperity doesn't top any back removal, only Floowandereeze cards, and I celebrated it there, because I know he doesn't have an out, so it's basically game 3 at this point. He looks at his hand, he's wondering what he can do to out Zombie World, but in reality against the Spheres, Crystal Wing, Droplet, but he doesn't also have Droplet, and the Zombie World, it is very difficult for a Floowandereeze player to play. He then activates Terraforming, searching his field spell, which I will bounce back with Spheres, I think, because I do not want him to get any resources, and I want a clear OTK next turn. And I want to be able to use my field spell. He reads Crystal Wing as Spheres for second turn. Spheres is also very good because it does help you summon a dragon from your deck. But obviously you can summon Padra or Fadra, because Fadra targets a dragon in the graveyard and Zombie World makes them zombies. So I do decide to summon Magnum there to search in the end phase, because you can search the Padra and then change the field spell to get out of Zombie World lock. He then proceeds to activate the continue spell and normal summon Eglin, which, despite not being a threat at the moment, I do decide to Crystal Wing because it is a free negate. He considers chaining the quick play, but he can't chain it on the Eglin because it is a zombie, not a winged beast at the moment. So it will not give him any kind of value. So as you can see, we are in a very good position here. He does set the bluff, and I can resolve my Magnemite, but he understands it is game, so we will proceed to game 3 after siding. Now I know he will not make me go first, because he saw game 1 he had a very good matchup against me if he goes first, and Floowandereeze plays the Harpy's Featherstorm, which is almost an auto-win against any deck. Now he can play Shifter, but Tenpai as a deck doesn't lose to Shifter immediately as well as other decks. But in case of a Shifter, I will decide to side out our droplets, not all of them of course, because they will not be activatable. And I'm hoping I can draw a back removal or a hand trap in this game. And as you see, I side in our Lightning Storms, and I do side out a Santa Claus because I think it will not give me any value. And I do keep a Magnamut in the deck because if he chooses to Shifter, he puts a Dark in the graveyard, so Magnamut will be live and he will give me a Dragon in the end phase, so that's very good. Although it is against Flu, which don't have any light or dark monsters, but if I activate a Veiler, he doesn't have Shifter, so it will still be live. So that's why I keep Magnamut in the main deck. Now against Flu, the matchup is heavily relied on you drawing a back removal or a very good hand trap, one or two hand traps to be exact. And I do side Droll and Lockbird in the side deck, so if he doesn't have Shifter, Droll will hurt him a lot. As you can see, my hand, we have some kind of hand traps, SOS, Blossom and Impermanence, I believe. He chooses to start with Prosperity, which game 3 is a very dangerous card, because not only he can see his side deck, but he can also see a combo piece. And we do see the Harpy's Featherstorm, which I am afraid a lot of this card. But he doesn't see any kind of engine despite duality, and Shifter will not be live. And we also have Droll in hand, which will hurt him a lot if he does decide to take Pot of Duality. He's considering either Cosmic or Heavy Storm, as you see, Harpy's Featherstorm. And he does take Harpy's Featherstorm, which does tell me he might have a good hand. And a chain Droll, and he changed the quick play to add any Flu, but because he banishes an avian, I think he doesn't have any kind of small bird to play. And I was indeed correct and lucky in a way. So he does set 2 and I summon Chandra, which is an 1 card OTK if he doesn't have any kind of interruption. And as you can see, he didn't make any board, so we won the game.